Broadcasting from the Bayou State and all around the Gulf Coast and streaming nationwide. This is the C.L. Bryant Show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the C.L. Bryant Show. I am so glad to be here with you on this chilly evening in the jeweled cities of the Arklatex, Shreveport, and Bossier. And we are streaming live throughout the greatest nation on the face of the earth, the greatest success story the world has ever known, and that is America. Welcome aboard, all of you in southern Arkansas and East Texas and throughout the Gulf Coast of my native Louisiana. Folks in Wilmington, North Carolina, thank you for welcoming us to your family there at WLTT 1180 Wilmington. And I want to remind all of you that you can tune in the C.L. Bryant Show now to 101.7 FM, 101.7 FM, and hear that in crystal clear digital radio. It's going to be just off the chain when you tune over there and hear us, and you won't get the fade out. You won't get the fade out that you normally do on the FM dial here at 710 Keel. But it's all good either way you go, 710 or 101.7 FM here in the jeweled cities. Let me say this, that tonight we'll have on with us the GOP chair of Louisiana, Roger Villery, Wayne Dupree, and one of my fellows at FreedomWorks, Jason Pye, will be on with us. He'll be talking about Tom Price's appointment, and that our state chairman has something that is very important that I want him to discuss with us as well. And Wayne Dupree, the news ninja, will be on with us here, all coming up in the C.L. Bryant Show. Well, folks, again, I tell you, it just for those of us who are into news, current events, those types of things that go on every time we turned around in the last 12 years. Yeah, we go all the way back to Bush. With this. And, of course, now, since the Bushes behaved the way they did in this past election, we know why that this has been the way it was for the last 12 years. You can't blame all this on Barack Obama, although most of it is. Most of it is in his wheelhouse. Last 8 years, yes, we could have corrected this. We had, for the last 6 years, the Republican House and the Republican Senate. But we had a Democrat president, and still, though, we could have fixed this, but we didn't. I think there is help on the way, and I think there is a fixing that is going to, there's a way to fix this that is going to occur for us here very, very shortly. Now, Nancy Pelosi, speaking of fixing this, and tell you the truth, Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton really fixed the Democrat Party. It may take them 10 years to recover from what Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama did to it in this past election, but that's fine with me. But Nancy Pelosi has been re-elected as the minority chair there of the the Democrat Party, and that's good. I'm glad. That's good. They can keep doing that over and over. If they get the same results that we got in this past election, I'm very happy. But now we're going to be talking about that a little bit later on with others. But I got to tell you something. I love a Big Mac. I really do. I used to eat one almost once a day when I was a kid after high school, after football practice, what have you. Drop by, get a Big Mac and some fries from McDonald's. They tasted a little bit different then. They really did. They tasted different. Everything tasted different back in the day. But the inventor, the creator of the Big Mac, his name was, you probably don't know his name. His name was Jim Delagatti. Dead at 98. He is the creator of the Big Mac. And, hey, I ate one in his honor. Today, I went and got me a Big Mac today and ate one in his honor because it certainly has been a staple of my younger years. Folks, a gun store in Tampa, Florida was rammed into by a truck containing about 10 people. They jumped out and made off with about 40 guns in Tampa, Florida. They rammed into a gun shop with a truck. Now, does that sound familiar to you? It may sound familiar to you because this ramming, using vehicles like that to create havoc, seems to be becoming a staple of how to disrupt and create disorder. The gentleman, the dead guy, the dead refugee on Columbus, Ohio, on the University of Ohio's campus, is now what did use a vehicle to create the havoc and then get out, start slashing. And remember, I told you about the foiled plot to get a garbage truck loaded with bombs and drive that into a crowd. That was foiled. But now you have something, and I'm not really sure if this is a lesser degree or not, because they stole guns. They got away with 40 guns, and of course you don't know whose hands those guns are into. And I don't have an inventory on whether they were automatic or semi-automatic weapons or handguns. I don't know. I just know they made off with about 40 guns that were stolen from a gun shop. So this seems to be something that is transpiring around the country. It is in the minds of those who want to do nefarious and evil things. And so be on the lookout. Said all that to say that be on the lookout. And I don't know how you prepare for a wildfire like the one that's sweeping through Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and folks, I don't know if you've ever been to Gatlinburg, up around that way. It is absolutely gorgeous, and I've got to trust God that it will be that way soon again. But there's no way to prepare for the unknown. And as we have been told, tomorrow's not promised. But we certainly hope that we make it into the next segment with GOP State Chair Louisiana Roger Villeray will be with me when I return. I'm CO. CL, back with you on this Wednesday evening here in the jeweled cities of the Arklatex, Shreveport, and Bossier. We're streaming live throughout the greatest nation on the face of the earth, the greatest success story the world has ever known. And, of course, you folks in Wilmington, North Carolina, and all of you throughout the Fruited Plains and the Gulf Coast of Louisiana, we want to thank you for joining us. Southern Arkansas, East Texas, thank you for joining us for the journey. On the line with me now is Louisiana GOP chair, someone who I have had the occasion and the opportunity, a really privilege to be with on several occasions. Roger Villery, I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for the first time being on the C.L. Bryant Show. How are you, man?
I'm doing great, and I really appreciate you having me on. It's always good to visit with you, and I can't believe that this is the first time we've
It should not have been.
For a long time.
Well, we've known each other for years now, Roger. Yeah. And I think this is the first time that you've been on the show, and that we've been on now for going on 3 years. But it will be more frequent. Now, I understand that the Vice President-elect Mike Pence, who is a real stand-up guy, believe me, he is, will be in New Orleans for an event that the LA GOP is sponsoring on 12/3. Tell us about it.
That is true. We're bringing in Vice President-elect Mike Pence. It's going to be this Saturday, 11 a.m., 11 to 1:30. It's going to be at New Orleans Lakefront Airport at 6001 Stars and Stripes Boulevard. How do you like that?
Oh, I love
Stars and Stripes Boulevard. Isn't that awesome?
I love it. I love it.
Great, yeah. What we're going to have really all our current congressmen, our senator, Cassie's going to be there, and of course our future senator and John Kennedy, and we're there to really energize the troops, let them know how important it is that we go out and vote. People say, "Oh, well, the polls are showing Kennedy's going to win easy." Well, we still have to vote. Early voting's going on right now.
Yeah.
It goes all the way through Saturday. We hope to energize the crowd and get everyone to go out and early vote. It's so important for the future of our country, and that we elect good conservative people to office, and John Kennedy's going to do a great job. I
certainly trust that he will, and I certainly trust that everybody will get out and vote for Mike Johnson as well, my good friend as well. We've had Treasurer Kennedy on the show numerous times, and certainly wish him and Mike Johnson well. Now,
we know Mike really well, and we're supporting him. The state party is helping in every way we can, and there's a lot going on in his campaign. If anybody wants to volunteer, they're looking for help. They're going to be a large group of them. There's a parade going on this Friday in Rose Pine. They're looking for some help. And so if they'd like to contact the Mike Johnson campaign, just MikeJohnsonForLouisiana.com. They're looking for volunteers that can work in the office over the next couple of weeks. And, again, we want to remind everyone, go out and vote early. Early voting is going on right now, and you can vote for Mike Johnson and John Kennedy.
Yeah, let's get it done, folks. Let's get it done because, hey, You know what? We have taken over Washington, D.C., and I remember back in 2004 when you were first elected to statewide office. You were the only GOP Grand Old Party official elected in the state. Is that accurate?
Well, actually, we had Fox McKiffin had been elected as a Democrat and switched to Republican, and so at the time I was elected statewide, Fox was Secretary of State as a Republican. Shortly thereafter, he got in that car accident and died. So
right.
His first assistant was then promoted, and his first assistant at the time was a Democrat. So we actually had no statewide Republicans within a few months of me taking office. And today, we've gone from this solid blue state till today a solid red state. We have every single statewide office except for governor is a Republican. We have both our houses, the State House and the Senate, are majority Republican. Neither one was majority Republican. So obviously the president of our Senate and the Speaker of the House, they're Republican. Didn't have that. We have the majority on our Bessie board, We have the majority on the Public Service Commission. We have the majority on the state Supreme Court. None of these were Republican when I took office. So we're really excited about all the things that have gone on. The registered Democrats out-registered us by 3-1. They still about 2-1, but we have made huge strides. We've been growing at a huge pace over the last 12 years, and they've been shrinking. So we're making big inroads into that.
And you know what, Roger, it is amazing when we think about this GOP, when we think about a conservative movement that is going on in this country. It seemed as though it was unlikely that that would happen, but it has happened. Now, this is the message, I think, that you as GOP chair, and then we have our Caddo Parish GOP chair up here that I often talk to as well, and that is Louis Avallone. We talk to him a lot about doing the right thing now with our conservatism. Let's not squander this, in other words, because we surely can if, in fact, we don't pay attention to the mood of the people in Louisiana. We were tired. We were fed up.
1 minute.
And I think the reason that we have both the House and the Senate in Washington, and the reason you can boast of those figures here in Louisiana, is because they're hoping that the people are hoping that we do the right thing. Stay with me through the break. Roger Villery, I want to come back to you and talk more about Go Over the Edge here. This is a special event that will be taking place on 12/3 in New Orleans, and we want to talk more with State GOP Chairman Roger Villery. When I return, I'm CL. You're listening to the most listened to talk show, Talk in the Arklatex. Be right back.
The sky is crying. Canyons and the tears roll.
CL, back with you on this Wednesday evening. It's kind of cool out there here in the Arklatex today. And hey, I tell you what, it has been a fabulous day, a great day in the USA. And one of our native sons is on with me, and also not only a native son to our country, but a native son to my beloved Louisiana, Roger Villery, State GOP chair here. And there is an event coming up on the 3rd.
Oh, it's the 2nd.
The 2nd.
It's Friday the 2nd.
Friday the 2nd.
It's going to be held in New Orleans on the Benson Tower. It's for the benefit of Special Olympics, and it's called Over the Edge. My son Mark, my middle son, who knows how to rappel and do rappelling, but the highest he's ever rappelled is about 100 feet, which is, 10 or 12 stories high, is going to go off the top of the Benson Tower. It's 25 stories high and rappel down. He's been raising money and getting people to make donations to the Special Olympics. And the Special Olympics is such a great organization. They really, really help the kids out. They do so much to give them confidence and help build their athletic ability and develop friendships and really empower them, to build the programs to help these special needs kids. So what they're doing is starting around 6 o'clock in the morning till around noon, a number of people have signed up to go over the edge, rappel down the tower, and we're just so excited about it. Mark's going to be there. It's the first time he's doing it, and it's something that he's excited about too.
Well, he should be excited about it. Either way you look at that, you got to be excited about rappelling down 10 stories off of a building like that. And we do wish all of you well. Now, is there a website, or is there some way, if you can't be there, that we can help if we want to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. If you'd like to help, you can go to Louisiana Special Olympics site, and if you go to Mark's page, Mark Villery, they have different people, and I believe there's a link on your station's website.
Yes. There's a link on the CL Bryant Show website. That's the TheCLBryantShow.com. Go there. Okay. We have a link on our website. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. We can go to TheCLBryant.com, and you can find a link to the Special Olympics. And if they could make any amount of donation, from small or large, people have given $10, $15, $20. Some people gave $300 or $400. So we really appreciate any help we can get. It's all 100% of it goes to Special Olympics. And we got sponsors to pay for all the setup, and the Jefferson Parish SWAT team is actually going to fly them up to the top of the building, drop them off on the building, and then they're going to...
That sounds like a lot of fun. That really does. Folks, go to TheCLBryantShow.com, TheCLBryantShow.com, and you will find a link there where you can hook up and help this worthy cause coming up on the 2nd, Friday the 2nd.
And it's Friday the 2nd, and it's the Benson Tower, which is right next to Champion Square, right behind Louisiana Superdome.
Yeah.
So if people happen to be in New Orleans and then they want to stay over to the next day, on Saturday the 3rd is when our great new Vice President-elect is going to be in town. Would love to have him out by the lakefront for that.
That sounds like a great double package there. Go help out the folks at the Special Olympics, and then the next day you'll get a chance to meet the next Vice President of the United States. And speaking of that, Roger, the appointments have been flowing very freely. Some of the people I know very well, Steve Bannon, and we have Pete Hexpeth, who has been selected to be a part of the Trump administrations. We've had was Pete on the show, and Steve I met through Andrew Breitbart. Tell me this, your opinions on the Commerce Secretary and the Secretary of the Treasury. Some have raised an eyebrow about that. How does the GOP chairman of Louisiana feel about that?
Yeah, I really feel comfortable that he's making good choices. He's got a good mixture of people that have experience and then people that are new. You have some secretaries such as education, who really doesn't have governmental experience, but she was chairman of the Michigan GOP, and Betsy DeVos, and I know her well. She's extremely competent. She knows the subject good. She's going to do a great job. And then you look at Elaine Cho, who has a lot of experience in being in government. And I think you need a mixture. You can't just have 100% outsiders, just like you don't want 100% insiders. Trump is going to shake up Washington, but he needs people that knows what they're doing also. You could see that by his pick for vice president. He got someone that had been a congressman for a long time, someone had been a governor that has experience of running both state government and federal government, and yet he is a complete outsider, never having served in office before. So it's a compliment, and I think that's what we're going to see from Mr. Trump throughout his presidency, a mixture of experience and people that are new to the job.
And let me tell you this, and you're going to be able to meet him firsthand for yourself. Mike Pence is a stand-up guy. I've known him for nearly 8 years now, before he became governor, and he was congressman at the time that we first met in Indianapolis. And let me tell you, folks, Mike Pence is a stand-up guy, and he makes everyone around him better. And I do believe this, and I'll say, in fact, I've said this to Mike and the Donald themselves. I believe Mike will make this administration better. And so I want to thank you again for being here on the show with us. Roger, got to have you back often to keep our finger on the pulse of Louisiana.
You got my contact information. Call me. I'd love to be back on CL. It's great visiting with you and talking to you, and I love expressing what's going on in our state and in our nation. I love the conservative movement. It's very important to me. I'm a conservative first, a Republican second.
Yeah.
So I think that, you and I are on the same page.
Yes, sir, we certainly are. God bless you and keep you, man. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Roger Villery, State GOP Chair of Louisiana. And so happy to have had him on. I'm going to have him back real soon. When I come back, we're going to be talking to the news ninja. That is our good friend Wayne Dupree. Wayne Dupree will be with me when I return. Don't go anywhere.
Broadcasting from the Bayou State and all around the Gulf Coast and streaming nationwide. This is the C.L. Bryant Show.
CL back with you. And I want to thank all of you for being here tonight with us. And it's a great day in the USA, either way you cut the cake. But you know what? I am wondering, I'm going to talk to Wayne Dupree about this here in just a minute. I am wondering, and I think I already know the answer to this, and I think you already know the answer to all this too. And that is, do you recall when Obama first became president of the United States and how he went on the apology tour, as it was called? You remember that? You remember how he went to Saudi Arabia and places like that apologizing for us being who we are? He gave us a lot of stuff to talk about. It really did back in the day, and got a lot of great speeches to a lot of big crowds because of that, because it was wrong. It was wrong for the President of the United States to be belittling us. And that's the way I felt about it. I don't know how you felt about it, but that's the way I felt about him doing what he did. I felt as though he was belittling us. And I want to say this, and I think you know it's true. Donald Trump won't be going on any apology tours. If anything, he'll be going on the tours to tell them that I'm the new sheriff and this is how we're going to make our nation great again. And I'm telling you something, I love this America First thing. 320-5335, 318-320-5335 will be the number to call if, in fact, you're out there. A little bit later on the show, about 6:30, I may be able to sneak in a call here now, but 318-320-5335 will be the number to call. Now, America First. I want you to recall this. Carrier Heating and Air in Indianapolis had already announced to their people that they were going to take over 1,000 jobs to Mexico. Yeah. They were going to take over 1,000 jobs to Mexico. And what happened was this, that Trump issued these words. He said these words. He said, listen, I hope you enjoy the weather in Mexico. And I hope you enjoy the climate. Because every air conditioner that you send back to the United States, we're going to put a 35% tariff on it. And guess what? Last night, Carrier just had a come to Jesus, and they called the president and said, hey, look, I think we can work something out here where we won't take those jobs to Mexico. And I think that we're going to see something very interesting happening throughout our nation when it comes to people who have gone away and now have come back. I want to join now my good friend, love him like a son, and think of him that way too, and that is the news ninja, Wayne Dupree. Wayne, thank you for joining us here tonight, man. What do you think about Trump standing up for America first?
I love it. I love it. How you doing, Pop?
I'm doing fantastic.
You,
I'm doing fantastically well, Wayne. Miss you too, son. Well, so you love it?
Yeah, no. Oh, I do. I really love that because that's the way I grew up. I grew up with in a patriotic mode because we prayed before we started school. We said the Pledge of Allegiance before we started school. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying that's going to come back, but I grew up thinking about America first. That's just the way I was reared up. So when President-elect Trump is talking about America first, I understand what he's talking about. This nation has got so far out of the way and thinking about other people that the base, the cornerstone, the family of the United States of America has gone crazy.
Yeah, we really
And-
have. We really have. And Wayne, let me
Yeah.
ask you this. You remember when President Obama first became president, the first thing he did was went on what we call the apology tour.
Yeah.
Trump's not going to do anything like that, is he?
He better not.
I can't see him doing anything like that.
If he does, it's going to be fire sticks and pitchforks. He better not do that.
Can you see
But,
Trump? Can you see Trump bowing to a Saudi Arabian king?
Are you kidding?
Are you kidding me?
Don't do that.
That's exactly right. Are you kidding me? There
Don't
is
do
no
that.
way that is going to happen. And all of
No
us
way.
know that. And that is the thing that we're trying to get back as far as American. This flag does not bow. Americans don't
No.
bow. Let's make us great again. That's what it's all about.
And you know what, too? The rest of the world,
Yeah.
knew that America was nothing to play with. You ain't gonna mess with America. You ain't gonna outdo America. And the more and been alive, America has gotten weaker and weaker and weaker. Now, I didn't have nothing to do with it, but the people that they've put in office, though, have made America weak. Starting with the first George Bush.
You're right. You're right.
Just as soon as he got in there and started talking about globalism and one world power or one world order or new world order and stuff, then America started getting weak. Look, we got to take care of our home. We got to take care of family first. We got to build back up America's family, and then when we are strong together, then we can take on anybody. But I love President-elect Trump's
the way he approaches,
America first. I love that.
I love the way he's approaching it, and listen, I love even Apple. Even Apple Corporation is saying that maybe we can actually start making some phones or some Apple components right here in America. Guess what's going to happen? They're going to take the corporate tax rate from 35%, the highest among the highest in the world, down to 15%. Wayne, that is going to be good for business, baby. That is going to be good for business. Whoever you are.
Let me tell you something. What he did with Carrier yesterday, and he's 2 months out. He's 2 months out. He's not even in the White House yet. But he's already negotiated with Carrier. Look, just keep those jobs in the United States, and we'll work on it so that you will have the environment that you can even hire some more people. And Carrier came out, hey, guess what? America, we staying in. What does that do for the morale in America?
Absolutely.
That just puts the icing on the cake for so many people because, number one, Donald Trump kept the promise. Number two, you got thousands of people right now that aren't going to lose their jobs. Now, you start looking at the future, you'll be like, okay, now, if he can do this right now, I can't wait to see what else he's going to do. I can't wait.
And you know what? I like the strong persona. I like the strong stance that he's taking because this is what happened. Carrier remembered what Trump said on the campaign trail. Okay, I hope you like Mexico. I hope because the weather. I hope you like the weather down there because everything you ship back into the United States from Mexico will have a 35% tariff on it. He told them that, and they remembered that. They didn't think he was going to be president, man, but he is.
Hey, you know what, too? You brought up the Apple product too. With Apple saying what they did, Apple, as long as I've known, as long as they've been doing business, they have never said we might be able to.
No,
it's always no or we ain't even gonna talk about it.
Absolutely.
With just them saying, you know what? Let's rethink things a little bit. That's a huge win right there. It might take a couple of years.
Oh, it could be. It could.
Win right there.
It very well could. But think about it. Steve Jobs said to President Obama before he died, he said to President Obama, no way. That's what he said to him. No way. Now, Jobs, of course, is dead, but the Apple Corporation is still very viable. They're coming out with a new iPhone every year,
Every year.
And they're saying this, hey, They very well could do it. And guess who else likes it? The stock market evidently likes it too.
Oh my goodness! Did you see it blow up?
It's
Did you see that?
just blowing up. People are investing with both hands. And that's not because of Hillary. That's not because of Hillary Clinton. That is because they are believing in the vision that Donald Trump has for this country. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be good.
You know what? They are saying, well, look, if he can do that with just that little bit, just think what he can do like the first 100 days. People, we got to get in on this.
They're investing with both hands, Wayne.
Yes, and when they invest in both hands, when they start reaping the benefits and stuff, then that starts trickling down. I know some people start saying, they're going to put it in their pockets. But these people want to make money. I don't know any business owner that takes all their profits and puts it all in their pocket.
Oh, no.
And then just walks away.
No,
I don't know any business owner that does that.
When I come back, Wayne, I want to talk to you about that very thing, about this $15 an hour wage that these airport workers are wanting and that McDonald's is wanting. I want to talk to you about business in that frame. We return with Wayne Dupree, the news ninja, and he's going to give us his website as well. I'll be right back. I'm CL. CL back with you on this Wednesday, a great day in the USA, the greatest nation on the face of the earth, the greatest success story the world has ever known. Joining me is a friend of mine and somebody I have great respect for, and that is the news ninja, Wayne Dupree. I call him sometimes the news Negro, but he is there, and certainly enjoy your friendship, Wayne. And let me ask you this. Now, you see around the country so many people wanting to raise that minimum wage to $15 an hour. But Wayne, I'm feeling that there is a spirit of entrepreneurship about to explode in this country that why grovel over crumbs when you can be making a whole lot of money if you find a way to go into business. How are you seeing this thing shaking out? Wayne Dupree. Yeah.
Really don't see $50 an hour right now.
No.
I really don't. I mean, especially with technology where it is right now. Pop, I was in Minnesota at the airport waiting for my plane. In a restaurant where they had iPads on the table that you could order your own stuff.
Yeah.
So, and I've seen some restaurants where they have the machines up where you can order your own stuff. You don't need anybody else. So, look, these minimum wage jobs are basically what they are, minimum wage jobs. You're not supposed to be getting a 40-year retirement working at McDonald's. You ain't supposed to have that.
No, not asking. Do you want fries with that shake? That's not going to be a retirement job, dude. No.
Look at you. No, but no. I mean, when things start, when the train starts moving down the track, and the great success stories start happening, and when these things are starting to be reported, yes, I can see a whole lot of people saying, you know what, I want to start this business. I want to start this business. And who better to have than a businessman at the head that already knows what needs to be done?
Absolutely.
We got to get government out of the way. We have to let small businesses be small businesses. Look, you might fail, but get back up on the train, get back in the train, and do it again.
And you know what? There is nobody better example, I don't believe, of somebody who has failed. Trump almost lost it all.
Oh.
He almost lost it all, but he has regained it all. And man, that's a great example for the American story. Whoever you are, red, yellow, black, white, whoever you are, I believe this president that's coming in will be a great example to the American spirit. Let me ask you this, Wayne. You know, he got a lot of flack about the immigration thing, but we are seeing these just the other day. They're on the Ohio State campus. We're seeing people who are here as refugees still creating havoc. So do you think that rap is going to stick, or will he actually blow through that too, as far as being victorious?
The more this happens, the more Americans sees what is going on, the more Donald Trump is going to remind everybody, I've already said that. And there's already his words, his message in the past that's already said these things were going to happen. So, I mean, again, he's looking at things through a common sense glass. The media doesn't want people like us to know about it, so they're going, well, you know, he doesn't know what he's saying. He ain't got no experience in all this. But the more this happens, the more people are going to say, well, you know what? I need to listen to him a little bit more. Maybe we do need to raise these borders. Maybe we do need to look out in our neighborhoods a whole lot more. You know, and you know, look, the way that he looks at things, the way that he thinks about things is the way that we think about things. Now, the politicians in D.C., they don't think like that.
And it was common sense. It's common sense.
Yeah, it's common sense.
Yeah.
You know?
And you know what? When Trump was speaking to us on the campaign trail, and you know as well as anybody, because you and I had to say, Wayne, you were right. Wayne, you were right. And I'm still saying, Wayne, you're right. But you know, I was on board with Ted Cruz from the very, very beginning, and I had my problems with Donald Trump and and everything. But you know what? Once I put on the Trump jersey, and once I understood that, hey, this is the horse that we're all going to ride, that I'm going to ride, I began to listen closely and look closely at the man, his life, his accomplishments, and all of that. And guess what? It all fits, Wayne. It fits into what is necessary for America to be great, to be great again. It really does.
Exactly. And that's all I saw, and that's all I was trying to tell people. I'm like, listen, y'all have been asking for somebody to be your champion. You've been asking for somebody to go up and turn down D.C., turn down the media, start bringing back jobs, start showing that America is great again, start working out things with the military. You've been asking for this. Now all of a sudden this person is here. and everybody's mad with him. The
Yeah,
political
it certainly was.
establishment, the
Yep.
media establishment, they don't want him to succeed. And
CNN hates him, Wayne. CNN
Oh,
actually they don't know what to do. Their heads explode every night over. If you want to have some fun, tune in CNN for 15 or 20 minutes and just watch with it. They don't know what to do with themselves, especially since the stock market is doing what it's doing, and now that Apple is saying what they're saying and is saying what they're saying, CNN cannot stand it, man. It's incredible to watch.
No.
They can't stand it.
No, they can't stand it. Some of those politicians can't. I even saw some of these Republicans, some 4 Senate Republicans that said, well, we aren't going to use the nuclear option for Trump to fill Scalia's seat. Okay, all right. Hey.
Yeah.
That's okay.
That's the biggest disappointment that I have had with my party. And I am a Republican, registered. I'm a conservative first, but I am a registered. But that's the biggest disappointment that I had with my party. And finally, let me ask you about this Romney thing. Speaking of disappointments, but what do you make of that? What do you make of him even offering that to Romney? I'm very surprised at that. I do see the brilliance in it, but I'm very surprised at the same time. What do you think?
I'll tell you this. And he hasn't offered it to him yet. He's still talking. But I would not have this is me now, Pop, because I hold grudges. I wouldn't have. Mitt Romney couldn't work on my bicycle. That's how I feel. I don't want that man around me at all. But I'll tell you this. We supported. We worked hard. We got Donald Trump elected. I'm going to trust John. I'm going to trust his judgment. You know why? Donald Trump likes Mitt Romney. I don't care what people online, these Donald Trump supporters. No, Mitt Romney. Donald Trump likes Mitt Romney.
He seems to. He really does.
The State Department right now is messed up because of Hillary Clinton.
Wayne, I got to leave it there. I got to leave it there, Wayne. I got to leave it there. But listen, I want to thank. Wait a minute. You stay with me through this break because I need you to give your website as well. I'll be right back with Wayne Dupree. Stay with me, man. CL, back with you on this Wednesday here in America. Streaming live throughout the Fruited Plains. And, of course, we're coming to you out of Wilmington, North Carolina. They're on WLTT 1180 there in Wilmington. And right here at the flagship station for the C.L. Bryant Show, 710 Keel in the jewel cities of the Architect Shreveport and Bossier City. Joining me is Wayne Dupree. Wayne, I can't let you go without you telling us how to get a hold of your thoughts and getting a hold of you. Give us that website and all the other contacts that folks can use to get a hold of Wayne Dupree.
You can go to WayneDupree.com. That's 2 E's, WayneDupree.com. And basically what I do on the website is I offset the liberal media. I try to give you our side, because everybody knows what the liberal media is doing and saying, but I try to give you our side on WayneDupree.com. I also have a radio show every Monday through Friday, 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We broadcast on YouTube, as a matter of fact, the Right Side Broadcasting Network. That's where all the Trump rallies are. You can go check out all the Trump rallies on rsbn.tv, the website, rsbn.tv. But every Monday through Friday, 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Wayne Dupree Show. And I wanted to finish that thing about Mitt Romney. Real quick.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Mitt Romney, again, I don't trust him. I don't like him. I wouldn't have picked him at all. Now, Donald Trump likes him. And he's always liked him, actually. He backed him in 2012. He really wanted him to beat Barack Obama.
Yeah.
And he was angry
he
didn't. And he was on Romney's case for about the whole 4 years. Called him a failure and everything.
He did.
So what some people forget is that he just destroyed Mitt Romney over the past 4 years because he invested so much into him that Romney couldn't finish the job. So when Romney did his thing, everybody was just looking at Romney, but nobody really looked at what Donald Trump was talking about.
Trump had kicked him around pretty good. That's true.
Kicked around like a kickball. So before I go, Donald Trump looked at the State Department, and the State Department is in shambles because of what Hillary Clinton did. And Donald Trump remembers what Mitt Romney did to the Olympics. And Mitt Romney, if he plays ball, and he's going to have to take that job as Secretary of State.
Yeah.
But if he plays ball, he can fix that Secretary of State office and be a trumpet for Donald Trump out there with because he already knows Benjamin Netanyahu. He already knows all these other national leaders and stuff like that. He already gets along with those people. So, I mean, there's nothing but to plug him in. The thing is, some of these people, some of the supporters out here are saying, well, if he picks him, I'm leaving. Well, look, that's not how you do it.
They're always, they're always saying that. But you know what? I agree with you on both points. I agree with you that I don't know if I could work with somebody who would call me both a failure and a phony. A fake and a phony. I don't know if I could work with you. But it does show a lot of character in Donald Trump. In thinking about America, go back to America first. Thinking about America first. Wayne Dupree, God bless you and keep you, man. Thank you so much for being on with me.
Thanks, Pop.
Talk to you soon.
Okay.
Yeah, that is something that we do have to take into account, is the character of someone who is able to overlook all of what was said about you by an adversary, and really they weren't. Romney was not an adversary until he became one. And Trump was right to feel as though Romney let him down, because I tell you, I was at Glenn Beck's studio doing commentary on that election night back in 2012. And folks, it felt like a death had occurred in the studio when we realized that Barack Obama was going to sweep the night. So Romney failed a lot of us, and a lot of us just didn't understand. We thought that, not Katie Couric, but Crowley gave him some help in that one of those debates. But still, Romney could have shown up better. We're going to be back with Jason Pye in Washington, D.C. Freedom Works when I return. Don't go anywhere. I'm CL. CL, back with you on this Wednesday here in the greatest nation on the face of the earth, the greatest success story the world has ever known. I want to thank you folks in Wilmington, North Carolina, for welcoming us to your family at WLTT 1180 AM. And be sure, folks, you can tune in the CL Bryant Show 101.7 FM on your radio dial right here in the Arklatex. And I want to thank all you folks throughout the fruited plains of the United States, and of course right here in the Arklatex for making us the most listened to talk in the Arklatex. Joining me is a guy who I really is like a brother to me. I really love him, love his work, and he's a fellow of mine with one of the great organizations of grassroots organizations of this country. In fact, we have the largest grassroots organization in the country. That is Freedom Works. Welcoming aboard now for he's a regular, and that is the communications director for Freedom Works, my friend Jason Pye. Jason, thank you for coming on today.
Hey, CL, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. And I'm only the communications director for another few weeks. I'm moving into a new role at Freedom Works, the director of public policy and legislative affairs.
Goodness alive. He's moving on up to the east side, and I'm really happy for you, man. And now, your native son there in Georgia Congressman Tom Price, an acquaintance of mine, has been appointed to Health and Human Services. We know that Obamacare is in his crosshairs. What does this mean to us to have Tom Price elevated, or hopefully with the approval of the American people, to that position in your estimation, Jason?
Well, I mean, Congressman Price, and I, in full disclosure, as someone who grew up in Georgia and has worked in Georgia politics, Tom Price has a reputation in the state as being a conservative, someone who's part of the conservative movement, who is really interested in policy, advancing conservative policy, fiscally conservative policy. He has a lifetime 89% score with Freedom Works, which, if you're a committee chairman and have a lifetime score of 89% with us, that's pretty good. I mean, especially the pressure that you have or you face to vote with leadership all the time. And Price, Congressman Price, has certainly shown his independence from leadership when necessary. And this is a man who, I mean, he's an orthopedic surgeon. He understands the healthcare system in and out, and ran a medical practice, an orthopedic practice, and has a unique understanding of what's the benefits as well as what ails America's healthcare system. And he's one of the members of Congress who has actually introduced legislation, one of the few members of Congress who's introduced legislation that both repeals and replaces Obamacare. His bill is the Empowering Patients First Act, H.R. 2300. He was the architect of repeal Obamacare through reconciliation as House Budget Committee chairman. That was his bill that passed Congress last year. Unfortunately, it was vetoed by the president, but we finally put a repeal bill on President Obama's desk, and we always knew that under the right circumstances, a Republican in the White House, we could repeal the law. And now that we have a chance to do that with the incoming Republican administration, and with Congressman Price leading the Department of Health and Human Services, pending his confirmation by the Senate, which should happen without much of a problem. The groundwork has been laid, and I'm more confident than ever before that we're going to repeal this law within the first 100 days next year.
Let me ask you, Jason, because just 1 month ago, we as fiscal conservatives and we as people who have been telling folks that Obamacare would wreck this country for 8 years now, and next year will be 9 years that we have been telling folks this. 8 years. We've been telling them this 8 years. Is there any way that we, in any world, alternative world, even at that, we could have hoped for this type of lineup that we are seeing? I'm talking about a Republican House, a Republican Senate, and we have Tom Price elected to, or now appointed to HHS. Is there any way that we could have foreseen this, man?
Well, I mean, and Freedom Works President and CEO Adam Brannon gave an interview yesterday to Politico. I think it was published today, in which he was talking about the cabinet that President-elect Trump is lining up. I mean, you have Betsy DeVos as who's someone who's been a proponent of school choice and homeschooling, leading the Department of Education. You have Tom Price, the head of the Department of Health and Human Services. There are other people who are being named, like Steve Mnuchin, who's going to be the Treasury Secretary, who all have pedigrees as knowledgeable of the inner workings of the system and knowledgeable of what needs to be fixed in the system. That it's certainly looking great. Now, there are obviously concerns. We had Republican control of Congress under President Bush for 4 years, and we saw in a Republican president. Obviously, President Bush was a Republican, but we saw a spending explosion under President Bush. Now, the question is, and this is something that's going to fall on groups like FreedomWorks and our activist community, and you as a talk show host, CL, to ensure that we keep pressure on Republicans to not let the newfound power they have in controlling all three levels of government go to their heads. That we actually have to address the problems the problems that face this country, such as entitlements and repealing Obamacare and enacting fundamental tax reform and getting a handle on the regulatory state. Those are 3 or 4 very big issues that we have to accomplish very early on in the next couple of years, if not the first 100 days, at least start the ball rolling on them. But we have to accomplish in order to get this country back on the right track, and that's where Republicans need to put their attention. And I'm hopeful, especially with the Mike Pence as VP, and then the cabinet that the president-elect is lining up, that we're going to see some solutions to these very real problems.
I'm very hopeful of that. Very hopeful of that. Now, tell us about, and when we come back, I want you to start telling us about your new position with FreedomWorks. I was there when that was announced, but I want you to tell us about your new position with FreedomWorks, and save it for when we come back, because there's a little bit more that I want to talk to you about. Jason Pye, we're on with Jason Pye, who is currently the communications director for the largest grassroots organization in the nation. I am proud to be a part of that organization, serving as senior fellow to my friend and fellow Jason Pye. And I want to thank every one of our sponsors and all of you listeners throughout the Arklatex for making us the most listened to talk here in the Arklatex area. And we want to remind all of you that 101.7 FM is where you can now hear us as well. The C.L. Bryant Show will return in just a couple of moments. Don't you go anywhere. Back with Jason Pye. FreedomWorks, freedomworks.org, when we return. CL, back with you on this Wednesday here. And yeah, I think the Dems, I think we as fiscal conservatives and conservatives throughout the land, we've caught the Dems riding dirty. They even reelected Nancy Pelosi to the minority leadership there in the House. And hey, I hope they keep doing what they're doing because it's not working. Jason Pye is on with me. And Jason, now you are being elevated. He is the current communications director for FreedomWorks, but that is going to be old hat here real soon. And hey, by the way, folks, Jason Pye is multi-talented. When he doesn't have this FreedomWorks hat on, he is a killer drummer. I mean, just killer. He really is. And Jason, let's put the FreedomWorks hat back on, though. Tell us about the new position that you will be ascending to here very shortly.
We'll be taking over the policy and legislative affairs shop here at FreedomWorks and working on the Hill and off the Hill with on the Hill with members of the House Freedom Caucus and allied House conservatives to advance pro-freedom legislation that advances limited government and free market principles and pro-growth principles. And then off the Hill working with our friends in the conservative and libertarian space to see how we can work together. So that includes everything from working on legislative issues to working on regulatory issues to even appearing in Facebook live streams and interviewing people who visit our office who we want to promote and the work they're doing, people we want to promote, whether it's a member of Congress or someone from another group. So we've already done a lot of that in the past few months under Neil Seifring's leadership in that role, and now I'll be moving over to me. So I'm really excited about it. Policy has always been something I've loved to do, and legislation's always been something I've loved working on. And the communications role was fun, but after more than a year in it, I'm moving into this new role, and we're going to be bringing on a new communications director. Still don't know who that is, but we're going to be bringing someone else on, and we're going to be get ready to hit the ground running, and especially in those first 100 days of 2017 in the 115th Congress. It's going to be exciting.
It's going to be exciting. FreedomWorks.org, and I can only hope that the new person that you bring in to fill, and I'm telling you, man, you're leaving a void, will work at least half as hard as you did. And Jason, I want to thank you so much for the work that you do. And folks, if you look up the word policy wonk, if you look it up in the dictionary out beside it, you'll see it. If you don't know what Jason looks like, you'll see his picture. If you look it up. Listen, man, God love you. I'll see you in a couple of weeks and talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. Thanks, CL. I appreciate it.
Jason Pye, FreedomWorks, there in Washington, D.C., 6.9 million activists that we do have on the ground throughout the fruited plains of the greatest nation on the face of the earth. 320-5335-318, 320-5335 is the number to call. And I believe we'll be able to get in a few calls here tonight. I have been missing your calls. I had to check and see. I just had a lot of things to talk to you about on my own. And folks, I got to tell you that coming up, I'm going to be trying to expand the show into other markets, and there's going to be some wonderful people in for me here coming up real soon. Mike Woods is going to be here. Mike Johnson's going to be here. And, Michelle, she's going to be here. And, of course, always my right-hand man, Jay, is going to be here manning the boards and making sure everything is running smoothly on that end. Now, as I had mentioned to you a little bit earlier about this apology tour that you saw Obama take when he was first elected to the presidency, you remember that? You remember him going over to places like Saudi Arabia and over to Germany, and he even talked to the Japanese, and he apologized for America being strong. Yeah, that's what he did. He apologized for America being strong. Let me tell you what I liken that to. And all of you fathers out there who have daughters who've gone through in their teenage years or even younger, and you found or you saw a young man who you didn't like. And you kind of put your foot down when the young man came to the house to see her. You were kind of stern with him. Now, this is what my daughters did. I can't speak for yours, but this is what my daughters did. They kind of apologized for the old man for being the way he was. Jay, you're going to run into this. You're as beautiful as your two girls are. You're going to run into exactly what I'm fixing to tell you. They're going to apologize for the old man being as hard on the young man as he is. But this is what Americans have forgotten, and this is what your children sometimes forget too, is that when you stand up firm and strong for them and try to keep them away from people that you have this feeling about, you fathers know what I'm talking about. You moms do too. When you have this feeling about, when you stand up firm and tell them, hey, I don't like him, don't have him come around here no more. And they make apologies for you. They don't understand that you're simply trying to protect their name and their brand. You're trying to protect them against anyone who would harm them. When the President of the United States starts making apologies for the country that gives him his office, friends, I know that a lot of you got angry with me for talking about Obama the way I did when he was on that apology tour, but it's an insult. And it says to the person trying to the people that you don't understand. It says to the nation that you don't understand what we're about. You don't understand what we're trying to make you about. And it makes us ask the question, who is this guy that we have elected to represent us? I can almost promise you this. I mean, I just don't see this happening. If I see this happening, then I will come on and tell you.
Broadcasting from the Bayou State and all around the Gulf Coast and streaming nationwide. This is the C.L. Bryant Show.
CL back with you on this Wednesday here in the jeweled cities of the Arklatex, Shreveport, and Bossier. 320-5335 is the number to call. If you want to talk, I believe we'll be able to take some calls here. But I want to talk to you about this. Steve Mnuchin, Goldman Sachs, Wilbur Ross, billionaire, respectively, have been named to financial positions in the Trump administration. Steve Mnuchin has now become or been appointed to Secretary of Treasury, and Wilbur Ross will be Secretary of Commerce. We were talking about America First. We were talking about America First and how I believe that Trump is looking at America First. Now, last night, if you recall, I told you that when we think about this game there in Washington, D.C., you got to have people that know how to play the game, right? You have to have people who know how to play the game. And Steve Mnuchin, Goldman Sachs, I know how people feel about that. And pardon me, and I know that Trump knows how people feel about that. But I believe that when we talk about someone who is familiar with how to stimulate business, how to motivate business, I don't think you can find anybody better than Steve Mnuchin. I don't think you could have an outsider to play in Washington, and maybe sometimes we don't have the best idea of this. It is a monster. I don't think we have the right idea about this monster that is Washington. You have to have someone who has, in fact, fought monsters and dealt with monsters, maybe even created a monster before. Steve Mnuchin's that guy. So is Wilbur Ross, Secretary of Commerce. Now, this is what Trump is proposing to do with these two guys. Taking the corporate tax percent from 35% to 15%. Do you understand what that means for American business? Do you understand what that means for your child getting a job in the future? It's huge. It's huge when you have an opportunity like Carrier, an organization like Carrier, say that, well, I think we're going to stay in America and produce our air conditioners, by and large. Those folks in Indiana, you cannot buy the type of happiness that they have right now, knowing that their jobs are not going away. Think about what jobs have gone away in this country. Think about what jobs have folded in this country. Now, I tweeted this out. You can follow me at Rev CL Bryant, at REV, at Rev CL Bryant. If Trump is able to bring the corporate tax rate down from 35% to 15%, able to raise the GDP, gross domestic product, able to raise that to 3 to 4%, and able to reform, repeal, or replace Obamacare, I don't care what anybody says. He is a phenom. Yeah, there I said it. And yeah, you can. I can tell you this. I still got on the Trump jersey, and I'm gonna have it on until he fumbles the ball. He hasn't even been inaugurated yet. And Wall Street is going hand over fist. People are investing in there's buying. The stock market is going bananas. And I think it's because of the good news that America is on the horizon again. Do you realize, Americans, that we were on a ship that was sailing out of sight? That's where we were before this election. Before this election, it was dismal, it was gloomy, and it was boring in America because there was the same old, especially if we had hired Hillary Clinton for this job. It would have been the same old. And guess what? Americans spoke with one voice. We're tired of it. Bernie Sanders did well because at least he wasn't the same old. And surely Donald Trump is not the same old. Steve Jobs, you heard me say this to Wayne Dupree when he was on. Steve Jobs, before he died, said these words to President Obama: no way that we're going to make any type of Apple products in this country. Tax rate's too high. But now that there's an opportunity that the tax rate can actually be cut by 20%. Are you hearing me? The corporate tax rate can be cut by 20%. And I heard Wilbur Ross, who's going to be Commerce Chair, and heard Steve Mnuchin, who's going to be Secretary of Treasury, say that cut is not only going to be for corporations. They're not only looking at cutting rates for corporations, but for those of us who are in that forgotten place, the American middle class. Yeah. Is it possible that happy days may be coming here again? We'll be back to wrap it up. Home stretch. I'm CL. Home stretch, CL Bryant Show. I want to thank all of you for joining us on the journey today. You know, it has always been 320-5335 President Obama's MO to blame somebody else. Today he blamed Rolling Stone. I mean, not Rolling Stone. In a Rolling Stone interview, he blamed Fox News. He blamed Fox News for the Democrats failing to win the White House and for Hillary going down in flames. He said Fox News is eating up a chunk of space in every bar and wherever you go, airports, wherever. No, they're not. I never see Fox News in airports. Always CNN. Always CNN. Kenneth, joining me on the phone now. Kenneth, thank you for listening. Thank you for calling. My brother, I wanted to, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, CM?
Doing good, man. Let's talk about some Trump stuff.
All right. Yeah, I was so proud to hear that Terry was keeping those jobs here. I think that's the first time in my lifetime I've heard of a president giving a call to a company and say, hey, we can work with you. We can do something different here.
And that's what it takes, Ken. That's what it takes, doesn't it? It takes that kind of thing, doesn't it?
Yeah, he got results and he ain't even president yet, man. What's going on? Where has this been all my life?
And you know what? Think about it. For the last 8 years, could not have President Obama done the same thing. But think about this too, Ken. We had a Republican White House, a Republican House of Representatives. We've had a Republican Senate for the last 6 years, but yet we haven't had this type of idea. We haven't even had this kind of idea on the table. Talk to the companies and tell them, hey, listen, let's lower these rates so you'll come home. How come nobody ever thought about that?
Hey man, it takes leadership. That's what we've been missing, both on the Republican side and on the Democrat side. It's real leadership. They want to lead us like we're slaves or puppy dogs or something, but we need somebody that has core conservative principles, that knows how business works, that can bring jobs back, knows how to talk to people, knows how to negotiate. The Art of the Deal, that's Trump's book. He knows what to do, man. And
let me ask you this. I asked Jason Pye this up in Washington, D.C. just a little bit ago, this question. Do you think any of us as Americans actually thought that even before he was inaugurated, we would be having this type of reaction, positive reaction, I must say, to Donald J. Trump? What did you think?
Absolutely not. I listen to the news. I listen to Fox News, for example. I heard you talking about, the president was complaining about Fox News. What's their viewership? Like 2-3 million average all day?
Right.
In a country of 320 million, what is that? I mean, it's a speck.
Right.
So there's no big influence there. But yeah, if we listen to the pundits and to the news, we thought this was going to be gloom and doom. The night before the election, the Dow futures were down. Everybody was wondering what was going to happen to the 401k. Now look at it; it's record high. I mean, just things happening, just falling into place.
Happy days very well could be here again. I'm going to sort of digress off the political trail right quick because deer season is right around the corner. How's it looking for you, brother, right here in the sportsman's paradise?
Deer season is looking good. I put out a couple cameras, got a big buck on there, man.
What? Really?
Yeah, got a big buck. I got a new property to hunt, so I'm real happy about it.
Did you get the buck, man? How many points?
I hadn't got him. I got him on camera, but I'm hunting him.
Oh, he's out there. Oh, okay, he's out there. That buck, man, get that buck, man. And I listen. I can't tell you what PETA's gonna do. I can't tell you what I'm an animal lover. That's why I love to eat them. I love to hunt them, and I love to protect the ground that they need to survive in. But we want to replenish them. I'm an animal lover. But
hey, man, that's what I went to school for. I'm a wildlife biologist. That's what I got my degree in.
Is that what you do? You do?
Yeah, that's what I do. I protect the animals. I protect the environment that they live in, which also protects us. So, I mean, you can have it both ways.
You can have it both ways, and as long as man has been on earth, He's had it that way. He ate the animals that fed him. He protected the environment that the animal lived in. Kenneth, always glad to take your call, man. God bless and God keep you. Talk to you soon.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm CL. We'll be back to close it out in just a little bit. CL, back to close it out here on this Wednesday. It has been a great journey with you, starting with Roger Villery and then ending up with, trying to take your calls. And folks, I will be getting back into that mode of taking your calls more in the following week. I will be doing that. I want to tell you again that we are doing our very best to expand the brand. I'll be traveling to Texas, over in Texas, both Austin, over to Grand Prairie, then to Birmingham. Be going to Birmingham next week, and then up to D.C. I'll be headed up to D.C. Y'all be popping in and out, of course, here on the show, but I can't even let on how excited I am about the possibilities that we have for the C.L. Bryant Show and expanding Shreveport, the Arklatex, Bossier City, into other areas. Because, believe it, folks, you can believe this, and you know, the Louisianians, if you live here in Northwest Louisiana in particular, you know that whenever you go off somewhere, whenever you visit somewhere, and they say, hey, where are you from, man? Where you from? And you say, oh, Louisiana. Louisiana's my home. Oh, New Orleans. That's the first thing pops into their mind. Or, you know, or they may say Baton Rouge, but New Orleans, southern Louisiana, is the first thing that pops into their mind. They don't think about Shreveport. They don't think about Bossier Parish. They don't think about this Arklatex area that we live in. It's such a great place to be in. And I'm all about wanting to make people think North Louisiana, even though New Orleans has a golden reputation for the last 200, 300 years. But just the same, there are other places in Louisiana other than New Orleans. And what I want to do is, in building the bridge to conversation, is to make sure that we in North Louisiana and in the Arklatex area are a part of that conversation. I want to thank every one of our sponsors for sponsoring us in this endeavor, and I'm going to try to expand it and bring it home to us, and then take you on the road with me when I am able to go, as we try to syndicate the good news of North Louisiana and the C.L. Bryant Show, a fresh new conservative voice for America. And again, want to say to you that I do believe that happy days are here, or about to arrive again. Let's make sure we keep our eye on the ball, though, and remember what Thomas Jefferson told us as Americans: the price of our liberty is eternal vigilance. We have to continue to watch, even though it looks and seems good. It looks and seems like it's all going to fall into place, and we certainly hope it does. Still, the price of our liberty is eternal vigilance. We have to watch out for even those who we have placed our political trust in. But I want to thank God for bringing us to the close of yet another day, and I want to thank him for our men and women in uniform around the globe who defend our right to speak our mind. And until I'm able to talk to you again, I'm CL.
And I want to thank